Take a look around you. What do you see? Crowded streets, homeless encampments, faces etched with worry and uncertainty. This is America in the 21st century, grappling with decline, struggling to hold on to its identity. Welcome to Decline Diaries, where we shine a light on the uncomfortable truths, the issues the elites would rather you ignore. Tonight, we're tackling one of the most divisive topics of our time: illegal immigration. For decades, the promise of America has beckoned people from across the globe. But that promise is fading, eroded by unchecked illegal immigration. Our cities, once vibrant symbols of American might, are buckling under the strain. From coast to coast, we're seeing the same story: overwhelmed schools, strained hospitals, and a simmering resentment that threatens to boil over. New York City, the city that never sleeps, or at least it used to be. Now, it's gasping for air, suffocating under the weight of its own misguided policies. A self-proclaimed sanctuary city, New York has rolled out the welcome mat for illegal immigrants. But at what cost? The streets, once teeming with the energy of dreamers and strivers, are now crowded with the homeless, many of them illegal immigrants who have nowhere else to turn. Shelters are overflowing, resources stretched thin. The very fabric of this once great city is fraying. And who bears the brunt of this crisis? It's not the politicians, safely ensconced in their ivory towers. It's the working-class Americans, the legal immigrants who played by the rules, the everyday New Yorkers who are seeing their city transformed before their very eyes. Their taxes, meant to support their communities, are being siphoned off to support a system buckling under the weight of illegal immigration. From the East Coast, we travel west to Los Angeles, a city synonymous with glamour and opportunity. But beneath the veneer of Hollywood glitz lies a stark reality. Los Angeles is ground zero for America's homelessness crisis, and illegal immigration is fanning the flames. Every day, more undocumented immigrants pour into the city, desperate for a better life. But their dreams are colliding with a harsh reality, a city ill-equipped to handle the influx. Housing, already scarce and expensive, has become a luxury few can afford. Rents are skyrocketing, pushing even more people onto the streets. The homeless encampments, once confined to a few troubled neighborhoods, now sprawl across the city, a stark reminder of a system in crisis. The influx of illegal immigrants is stretching Los Angeles' resources to the breaking point. Our next stop takes us to the heart of the Midwest, to Chicago, a city built on hard work and Midwestern values. But even in the windy city, the winds of change are blowing, and they're carrying with them the consequences of unchecked illegal immigration. Chicago, a city that prides itself on its diversity, is now struggling to maintain its identity under the strain of illegal immigration. Its schools, once beacons of opportunity, are now bursting at the seams, struggling to cope with the influx of non-English speaking students. Teachers, already overworked and underpaid, are being asked to do more with less, to bridge the language barrier and provide a quality education in classrooms overflowing with children. The American dream, once promised to all who sought it, is becoming increasingly elusive for American children struggling to receive a decent education. And it's not just the schools that are feeling the pressure. The cost of providing healthcare, housing, and other social services to illegal immigrants is falling squarely on the shoulders of Chicago's taxpayers. The very people who built this city, who worked hard and played by the rules, are now being asked to foot the bill for a broken immigration system. Our journey through America's heartland takes us south to Houston, Texas, a city known for its entrepreneurial spirit and its can-do attitude. But even in Houston, the strain of illegal immigration is taking a toll, pushing this city to its limits. Hospitals, once beacons of hope and healing, are now overflowing with patients, many of them undocumented immigrants seeking medical care they cannot afford. Emergency rooms are stretched thin, wait times are skyrocketing, and the quality of care is suffering. And who bears the brunt of this crisis? It's the law-abiding citizens of Houston, the hardworking Americans who play by the rules, who are seeing their access to healthcare jeopardized by a system buckling under the weight of illegal immigration. Their insurance premiums are skyrocketing, their deductibles are soaring, and their access to essential medical care is being compromised. But it's not just the healthcare system that's feeling the strain. The influx of low-skilled illegal immigrants is flooding the job market, driving down wages and leaving American workers out in the cold. From the heart of Texas, we travel to the Sunshine State, to Miami, a city renowned for its beaches, its nightlife, and its vibrant multiculturalism. But even in paradise, a storm is brewing, a storm fueled by unchecked illegal immigration. Miami, a city built on the promise of opportunity, is now grappling with the consequences of its own open-door policies. The influx of undocumented immigrants is overwhelming the city's resources, stretching its social safety net to the breaking point. Schools, once symbols of hope and upward mobility, are now struggling to cope with the influx of non-English-speaking students. Classrooms are overflowing, teachers are overwhelmed, and the quality of education is suffering. The cost of providing healthcare, housing, and other essential services to this growing population is falling squarely on the shoulders of Miami's taxpayers. Our journey takes us westward, to the desert Southwest, to Phoenix, Arizona, a city baking under the Arizona sun, a city on the front lines of America's illegal immigration crisis. Here, the consequences of failed policies are not theoretical, they're not abstract, they're as real as the desert heat. Phoenix, a city built on resilience and a pioneer spirit, is now grappling with a crisis of unprecedented proportions. The influx of illegal immigrants is overwhelming the city's resources, stretching its law enforcement to the breaking point and transforming its neighborhoods. The men and women of law enforcement, tasked with maintaining order and protecting citizens, are outnumbered and outgunned. They're fighting a losing battle against the cartels, the smugglers, and the criminals who exploit our porous borders. From Phoenix, we travel west to San Diego, California, a city blessed with natural beauty, a city known for its laid-back vibe. But even in San Diego, the reality of illegal immigration is casting a long shadow, a shadow that threatens to eclipse the city's bright future. San Diego, a city with a proud tradition of welcoming newcomers, is now struggling to cope with the sheer scale of illegal immigration. The cost of providing social services, from healthcare and education to housing and welfare, is draining the city's coffers, forcing it to make impossible choices. Schools are overcrowded, hospitals are overwhelmed, and social services are stretched thin, all while taxpayers foot the bill, their hard-earned money diverted to support a system buckling under the weight of illegal immigration. The American dream, once a promise whispered from generation to generation, is becoming a distant memory for many San Diegans, replaced by a sense of frustration, a feeling that their city is being held hostage by a broken immigration system. But it doesn't have to be this way. Our final stop takes us to the heart of the South, to Atlanta, Georgia, a city that rose from the ashes of the Civil War to become a symbol of progress and opportunity. But even in Atlanta, the cracks are beginning to show. The foundations of this once great city are crumbling under the weight of illegal immigration. Atlanta, a city that prides itself on its southern hospitality, is now struggling to maintain its identity in the face of demographic change driven by illegal immigration. Its infrastructure, from its roads and bridges to its schools and hospitals, is buckling under the strain. Public transportation is overcrowded, healthcare systems are overwhelmed, and law enforcement is stretched thin, all while taxpayers foot the bill, their hard-earned money diverted to support a system designed to fail. The American dream, once a beacon of hope for those seeking a better life, is now fading for many Atlantans, replaced by a sense of uncertainty, a feeling that their city is slipping away. But Atlanta's story is not unique. As the sun sets on another day in America, the images we've witnessed linger in our minds. The overcrowded schools, the overwhelmed hospitals, the homeless encampments, the faces etched with worry and frustration. This is the reality of illegal immigration, a reality that stretches from coast to coast, from bustling metropolises to quiet rural towns. Illegal immigration is not just an issue that affects border towns. It's a crisis that is tearing apart cities all across America. From New York to Phoenix, from Los Angeles to Miami, the strain on public services, the job market, and community safety is undeniable. If we don't act soon, the very foundation of what makes our cities vibrant and prosperous will crumble.